So I've noticed in the Verm community there are a lot of tutorials, obviously, but there's not one for just exactly how to deal with a horde by yourself. Or there is, and I'm just blind and I can't find it. But either way, I decided to kind of make one of my own. Now, keep in mind, this isn't going to be one of those videos where I say, oh, just dodge, idiot, and then proceed to show you gameplay of me not getting hit once and proceeding not to say anything helpful. I've made sure to show my mistakes in this video. You're going to see me get hit, I think, in every single clip except for one. I take damage, I get hit, I think a couple of times I die. But, yeah, this is just kind of a critique of my own gameplay, saying what I could do better, but also showing how you can deal with hordes, ways to deal with hordes, what to look out for, and that kind of thing. So just quickly to set some ground rules, we're on Against the Grain. We're only staying on this first part in the field and where the first home is and everywhere around that. I'm only using my melee weapon and my ultimate ability on hordes. I am not allowed to use ranged weapons, bombs, potions, or healing potions in these fights. The only thing I can use my ranged weapon for is to kill any elites or berserkers if I find them. And these first couple of ones, I'm specifically staying outside in the field, even though that's not always the best course of action, just to kind of show you, prove a couple of points, show you what I'm doing, show you what to watch out for, and show you some issues that could arise when you're trying to solo a horde. So this first game is me as a Merc with one-handed sword on Against the Grain, of course, and against a Chaos Horde. So first and foremost, when you're fighting a horde, you want to get them into a position where you're controlling the horde and they're not controlling you. If you're to the point where you're having to dodge dance around, blocking, trying to get away from the horde, you've lost control of the horde and you need to get control of the horde back as fast as you can. So here comes the horde. I'm going to get some damage on the stragglers first before resorting to pushing and kind of mixing in pushes with heavy attacks to get the horde into a position where I can control them, as well as, weaving in light attacks to get some damage in. And I'm also constantly dodge dancing to make sure I'm avoiding hits. And something you need to watch out for, especially in open fields like this, is stragglers are going to constantly try to surround you, so you need to, have an eye open for that. Make sure you're paying attention to your left, to your right, and behind you to make sure nothing gets behind you. And right here you see me miss a few attacks, and I see a guy to my left circle around me, and I realize that I've lost the horde, and the horde's about to have control of me, so I shout to get control back of the horde again. And so right now I am back in control of the horde. I am once more dodge dancing. I jumped for some reason, don't know why. That's probably a misclick. And here I am back again, just kind of weaving in light attacks, heavy attacks, and push attacks in order to stay control of the horde. Second horde's finally up. They're coming from the same direction, thankfully. It's not coming from behind. Right there, I'm pretty sure what happened was I was about to eat a hit, and I just shouted to avoid myself eating the hit. And yep, we're still just kind of light attacking. We're still keeping control of the horde. It's going still really well. Another thing you see me do a lot is you see me animation cancel by tapping right click. That allows your animation to... It's called an animation cancel because you cancel your animation. And it allows you to attack faster and not have to go through the full swing through animation. And with that, the first word's done. So next up is Merc again with the one-handed mace, and you're going to see me right here pass up this fire barrel, but I'm actually going to turn around and pick it up for a very good reason. I'm going to use this fire barrel to force the horde in a very specific direction that I want them to go in. So that rock that the barrel's next to, I'm going to burst the flame barrel next to it, and I'm going to create fire. And what that's going to do is that's going to force the horde to go not directly in front of me, but to the left of the rock or to the right of the rock. And therefore I can then use the rock as kind of a guiding point, so to say. So as you can see, I kind of forced part of the horde to go to the right, and then I decided to meet the rest of the horde, which was all clumped together on the left. So I already had the horde clumped together, and I didn't have to do anything, which just makes my job so much easier. So here what I'm doing is I'm just kind of weaving in the light attacks when I can. I'm using that uppercut with the extra crit chance in order to make proc swift slaying, and then I'm using the push attack from the mace, which is really, really good, by the way, for stagger, and it's really, really good, so just use that. Also, you saw right there that one of the chaos guys phased into me. That's something you really have to be careful of, especially with elites, because they can absolutely phase into you, and you can get to the point where you can get hit by them, but you cannot hit them, if that makes sense. So you have to be very careful and conscious of when that happens, and if that happens, you need to go full defensive and back up and just get away from that situation. It happens quite a lot. Also, I'm a big dumb, and I fired my ranged weapon when I shouldn't have because I forgot my own rules. So as you can see, there's a whole bunch of stragglers right here, so instead of attacking, I'm just going to get them back into the position that I want them, and then I'm going to start attacking again. Now, obviously, if you had specials in here, it'd be a little bit different because you'd have to pick off the specials, or you could use the specials to your advantage either way. But right now, I'm just kind of showcasing how you would just deal with a horde. Kind of like light attack weaving, you want to mix in some heavy attacks, push attacks. I wasn't paying attention right there, and I got hit. So we're just continuing doing this. Nothing really too special here. Right here, I actually run out of stamina for blocking, which is my fault. You have to make sure that you have to make sure that you don't run out of stamina. This entire experience is about managing your temp HP and managing your stamina. Because if you run out of one, you're going to be in trouble. Or I'm not temp HP, but health in general. If you run out of your health, you're going to be dead. If you run out of your stamina, you're going to be overwhelmed by the horde, and you're going to be stuck without the chance to block. And if you have, a shout up or a teleport or a dash, you'll be fine. But if you don't have it up, or if you're playing a different character, then you're fucked. So here we are. Next horde's up. We're getting some early damage, and then we're just pushing in, trying to get them into a tiny position or a tiny circle so we can control the horde easily. If I remember correctly, this wave has shields, I believe, which are their own thing to have to deal with. Also, that fanatic just Houdini'd out of existence. There he is. Yeah, that's interesting. That was good on my part, though. I turned around and I saw a straggler, and even though it was kind of the game's fault that he glitched out of existence, I was watching to make sure that straggler wasn't going to poke me in the ass. So it's just, concentrating, making sure you're doing really well, making sure you're managing your stamina and your temp health well. And now here comes the second wave of the horde. And this one maybe has shields in it. Because you have to treat shields not too differently, but just slightly differently. I don't know, maybe not. I could just talk about them anyway. So with shields, you either have to use a specific attack to break the shield, or you just ignore shields entirely. And it depends on what weapon you're using, of course. Like, if you're using a one-handed mace, you can use the overhead to break the shield. But in this case, it doesn't really matter. You can just use the push attack to push the shielders away, and you can just kill the normal guys without having to worry about it. It's honestly not that big of a deal. Now, if you're using something else like Halberd, you can use the overhead to break the shield. But, like I said, you can just stagger them and, keep them pacified and just deal with the rest of the horde. But yep, and that guy, and there we go. And this is just quickly showing that I'm using technically the wrong talent for this. I should be using Mainstay, but I'm using Smiter, which makes my job harder. So I'm just showing that this can be done with anything, right? But if I was using Mainstay, this would be a little easier. So here comes the third wave. Right here, I turn around and I see that there's a horde coming behind me, so the first thing that I do is I circle to the right of the horde to put this horde in between myself and the other horde so I'm not sandwiched in between the hordes. And there, I wasn't paying attention to the right and I got smacked, so I'm going to back up a little bit. I got cut off to the left, and I was trying to dodge to the left, but I couldn't dodge to the left because of that little shit decided to block me off, so I just decided to shout real quickly to prevent me from getting overwhelmed there. Also, those two marauders bugged out there. It looked like I dodged them, and then they snapped to me, which isn't really my fault. But, it's going to happen, so you have to get used to that. Same with those fanatics, just for some reason, all trying to run past me and get behind me. You have to watch out for that as well. And here comes the other horde. I'm going to kind of hug this wall behind me because, it's pretty safe because obviously nothing's going to come from behind me now that another horde has spawned, so I'm safe in that regard. So by putting my back to the wall, I've pretty much guaranteed myself that I'm not going to have a surprise, horde or a surprise group of enemies come behind me. And right there I get stuck real quickly with being able to free myself. So yeah, most of this is just discipline. It's just muscle memory, discipline, remembering to push often, remembering to stagger, remembering to keep dodge dancing. But yeah, like that Fanatic right there, again, he just glitched right through my character model, but I was able to catch it just in time. And yep, there is one-handed mace. And next, we're going to showcase the Halberd. Now, personally, I don't really like the Halberd. I don't like how you're supposed to clear hordes with it personally, but it is still a very good weapon at clearing hordes. And you clear the hordes by finger rolling the light 1 attack, which basically means you just light 1, you tap the block button to reset the attack animations, and you just click left again. So it's just left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, and you just do that endlessly. And that is a very good horde clear for Halberd. I don't like it personally because it requires too much effort on my part, but I mean, it works like that. And see right there, I wasn't paying attention to the guys behind me, and I ended up getting hit, which completely threw me off, and I got hit from every direction. So you always need to be aware of that, personally. And then here, I think there's another horde coming from behind that I don't notice. No, there was just some stragglers behind. So yeah, as you can see, it's just endless. It's just continuously finger rolling. It's really, really good, don't get me wrong. Really, really good. Keep in mind, this is everything I'm doing here is on Cataclysm. So this just showcases how good it is on Cataclysm. So we're just constantly dodging to the left and to the right. Oh, I just barely blocked a guy right there. While you do want to, for the most part, just kind of use the crowd control function every once in a while, it's not a bad idea to throw in like a overhead or a heavy attack or like an attack that does more damage to specifically wipe out one guy. Especially if you can work it in there. Because the faster you kill the horde, the faster you can move on and get your team up. Alright, so now we're just going to see real quickly where the horde exactly is coming from. Oh, and they all spawn on top of the roof. Cool. So we're going to go meet them over there. We're just making sure that they're not also spawning behind us at the same time, because this mod has done that for some reason. So first and foremost, of course, we're going to, because there are actually shield bearers in here, we're going to use a mixture of overheads and finger rolling to get all of the chaos hordes into that small, tiny circle that we can manage. And then we're going to use the overheads to break the shields so we don't have to deal with the shield bearers anymore. And like I said, you don't have to break the shields immediately. It really, really helps. It really, really does help because the shields do block the halberd's finger rolling, so it makes it more difficult. But the number one priority, of course, is killing the trash that are normally going to do damage to you, because all it takes is just one hit from any attack, and the shield bearers are stunned for a little bit. So you can just endlessly stagger them and buy yourself some time to attack the normal horde. But of course, if you can actually break the shields and just make them part of the normal horde, it makes it so much easier. Of course, here comes another horde to my right, which I barely see in time. So right now we're back to we're trying to rake those guys to the side into the center right here by doing those. And luckily there's no shield bearers in there, so it's not that big. It's not that hard at all. So like as you could see right a second ago, I actually just did a quick heavy attack to kill that guy in front of me just real quick. Like I said, if you can work in an attack that is, you know, pretty powerful but also kills someone, do it. Because you need to be able to kill the horde as quickly as you can to prevent more specials from spawning, more hordes from spawning. The faster you can kill a horde, the better it is to kill a horde, generally. And with that, that is the halberd. So here we have some ranger vet with pickaxe, and the first thing we're going to do is kill these monks, because we definitely do not want to fight them with pickaxe. We want to take them out at ranged if we can, so we're going to do that, and then we're going to get into the horde with the pickaxe. Now the pickaxe isn't really a horde clearing weapon, but it is really, really good for staggering. And because I have the stagger temp HP talent, it makes it so getting temp HP is really, really easy with this weapon against large hordes. And since there's a lot of Skaven hordes, it makes it very, very easy to gain temp health. And because, I'm playing Ranger Veteran with Pickaxe, I'm going to be taking a decent amount of hits. So which means I need to be able to replenish my temp HP very, very quickly, which I can do. And right here, Bard's barely taller than the grass, so I'm going to get out of there real quick. So at this point, I hear there's more Plague Worshippers coming in. I turn around to see I eat a hit, and I block, or I try to shoot, and then I end up eating a hit right here. Or I try to block, and then I get hit by the monk. And then at this point, I just ult, and then I'm going to delete the monks with my ranged weapon as fast as possible. And then we're going to go just right back to smacking on the horde with that pickaxe. And right there, I didn't push too far into the horde. I decided just to kill the stragglers because I didn't want to be left out in the middle of the horde with no defenses once my ult ran out. So the name of the game, specifically with the pickaxe, is just to, not necessarily to kill them quickly, but just to stagger them. Keep them staggered and be able to get your temp health up really quick. But so far, as you've seen, 90% of this is just dodge dancing, as well as weaving in light, heavies, and push attacks in order to keep the horde staggered and keep the horde in a situation where you can control them. And it doesn't matter what weapon you're using, from rapier to warpick to, one-handed axe, you're always going to do the same thing. Now this one's a little bit different, because there are shield bearers in this wave, and because there are shield bearers, I cannot kill them easily like I can with the one-handed mace, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ignore them for the most part. And what I mean by that is I'm just not even going to attempt to kill them. Also, I'm a big dumb, again, and I shoot when I'm not supposed to. And, yeah, I'm just going to ignore the shield bearers, and I'm just going to just spam light attacks because, like I said, shield bearers are super easy to stagger. Super, super easy. All you have to do is just hit a light attack and they're staggered back a little bit. So rather than, risk my life trying to kill them, I'm just going to either save it for when I'm invisible, or I'm just going to wait until there's some of the last ones alive, and then I'm going to start trying to kill them. So here we are. We're dodging to the right and to the left. This is more dodging to the right and to the left is more important with two-handed weapons than it is with a one-handed weapon, because if you dodge backwards with a, if you just dodge backwards in general, enemies are much, much more likely to ice skate towards you and get a bullshit hit on you, frankly. So if you dodge to the left and to the right, you minimize that chance of happening, and you dodge a lot more attacks than you would if you just simply dodge backwards. You can do the jumping, you can do the jump dodge backwards with one-handed weapons really easily, which is why you could still do it with one-handed weapons, but with two-handed weapons, it's much more difficult to do that, and sometimes not even possible if you don't have high enough dodge. So you just want to dodge to the left and to the right to avoid them from ice skate hitting you. And here I see that I'm cornered, so I'm just going to ult to get myself out of there. I'm going to do as much damage to the back of this horde as I possibly can, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the left away from the horde, so I'm not caught in the middle of the horde. As you can see, I'm finger rolling attack 1, because finger rolling attack 1 is really good for temp HP generation with stagger. Now we're finally whittling down the horde. We're getting to just the last few here. I'm going to start actually push attacking a lot more frequently to try to get these shield bearers dead. Break some of those shields. Kill the stragglers. And with that, that is Bardin with Pickaxe. So this is just a quick side note about Beastmen specifically. Beastmen specifically, you have to treat very differently than the other two factions because of how buggy and just how much they don't work. So you can't be as aggressive as you are with Chaos and Skaven against them. So first and foremost, you want to get rid of the Vestigores as fast as you can, with a ranged weapon or ults or whatever. And then after that, you just want to keep the rest of the Beastmen Horde away from you, like as far away from you as you can, so they can't do their glitchy running animation towards you, because that's like the #1 thing that gets people killed. It's that running animation that you can't see behind the rest of the Beastmen, and the fact that so many of them can do it simultaneously, and the fact that their animations will hit, they will hit you before their attack animation is even finished. So yeah, there's not really too much to say about these clips. I'm just trying to keep my distance as much as I can using light attacks, heavy attacks to stagger them and keep them away. Alright, this final clip is going to be a shade game with dual daggers and Hagbane. Now, this is going to be against multiple factions, and I want to point out here that I have Blood Fletcher. I do not run Vanish. So this is a non-Vanish round, and what we're going to showcase this round is, of course, what we've learned so far about how to deal with a Horde just with your ult and with your melee, but we're also going to showcase a little bit how you can get creative with your environment. So this is kind of all bets off. I can use anything. I can use my ranged weapon, bombs, potions, anything during these hordes to show how exactly, with weapons that aren't exactly good at clearing hordes like dual daggers or axe, how you can use your environment and everything you have to win in a fight. So Skaven are a little easier to deal with in this situation with dual daggers because normally with Chaos and Beastmen, if you kill them, it only cleaves through a single, but with Skaven, if you kill one, it can cleave through that one and hit a second, which makes it a lot easier to kill them. So right here, I am trying to put them in a tiny circle as much as I can, and I find this lamp oil. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw this lamp oil in the corner, and I'm going to let it explode. I'm going to push them all there as fast as I can, and since there's no one else up on the map, I'm going to ult, and they're going to stand in there, and they're going to burn to death. Now, I did not know that this lamp oil existed before. I had not gone through and checked the map, so I did not know that lamp oil was there, so that was just my quick thinking. So I used that to kill a large part of the horde. And now I'm just going to kind of fight my way outside, see if we can find any other supplies, and I find a bomb right there, which is going to be really helpful later on. So right now, we're just kind of dodge-dancing around, trying to take care of the horde, keep them in center, and we're using the Hagbane to kind of thin them out a little bit, damage some of them. Because I also, I don't remember what the town's called, but bleeding enemies and poisoned enemies take 20% extra damage, which synergizes very, very well with the dual daggers, because dual daggers, the light attack applies a bleed dot. So anytime you left-click on any kind of enemy, they just immediately take 20% more damage. So now we have Chaos. And like I said, this is a little more difficult because you can't cleave through multiple Chaos like you can with Skaven. So I have to be a little more careful. And right there I ran out of stamina. I didn't want to risk attacking and getting stuck and dying. So I just said to myself, hey, I'm just going to deal with that. Or I'm just not going to deal with that. So I'm going to try to get them all in this tiny center, and I'm going to bomb them. And then we're just going to take out the rest of them. And then the next horde is going to make its way in. See, we're just trying to... Also, be careful of that little tarp right there. That little tarp is not a solid wall, and you can walk through it, but also enemies can walk through it. So I backed myself in a corner right there, so I just kind of used my environment. I used that plank to jump on top of and get out of there. That's what I mean by using your environment. Make sure you know what you can jump on top of, little skips, what you can jump over, so you know if you're stuck, what you can do other than just ult your way out of a situation. So right here, I want to kill them as fast as possible, so when I have only a couple... Well, actually, first I'm going to ult, and I'm going to try to proc Blood Fletcher to get some of my arrows back, because I did not find any arrows myself. So, I want to get some arrows back from Blood Fletcher. So when the horde is, really tight together like this, of course I'm going to left-click to apply those bleed dots to see if I can kill any of them. But if I can get some of them, isolated like that, I'm going to do heavy attacks on their head to insta-kill them. so I can just kind of thin out the horde a little bit. That's what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of shoving. Also, keep a note how I don't think I've ever used the push attack once. I've pushed, and then I immediately just continue left-clicking or a heavy attack. That's the good thing about dual daggers. It has a really good... It doesn't have insanely strong knockback, but it has a very, very good knockback that you can use in synergy with the light attacks and the heavy attacks. The push attack generally isn't really worth it that much. You just want to push and then go in immediately into a light or a heavy. So now we're going right into a Skaven horde. And we're going to try to just do some damage. We're going to see, we're going to try to get as many of them out here as we can before going inside. So right now I don't really have a plan. I'm just kind of killing, wondering like what's the best plan to do. I know I want to lure them into that hallway because the more you can get into the hallway. Also, I got stuck right there, so I had to ult to save myself because they were dropping over the wall. And right here, I don't really shoot them to hurt them, even though that's a bonus. I shot them to break my stealth because I wanted them to chase me this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to force them into a tiny corner, as usual, and I'm going to hagbane them down as many as I can. So like right there, I'm going to shut the door, and I'm going to force them to pile up against the door so I can just hagbane the shit out of them. And then right here, a lot of them came around to the right for some reason, so I have to be careful about that. Also, you can attack through that little wooden fence. You can attack through walls in Vermintide. The only thing is enemies can also attack you through walls. So yeah, you can get some damage through that like little wooden fence and that wall behind you, but the enemies can also attack you through it as well, so you have to be careful and mindful of that. So as you're going in, you can get some quick hits, but you need to immediately back away from the wall so you don't immediately eat another hit from an enemy. Because especially if there's like a Mauler or a Chaos Warrior or a Storm Vermin on the other side and they decide to overhead you, you're not going to see it coming and you're going to die. So right here, we're waiting to see what the horde is again. It's going to be Skaven, I believe. Yeah, Skaven. And they're doing the ambush, so they're all around us. We don't really have a single place to go, so we have to make a way for us to go. So I'm going to kind of carve my way back towards the house of safety, which I like to call it. And right there, I checked, I wanted to check quickly how much Hagbane I had left. I didn't catch it. I don't remember how much I had left, but I don't think I had more than like 3. I had very little left. So of course I'm going to get them into a little ball again as usual, bunch them up. And I'm checking that corner right there for a potion or bomb or anything. I don't see it, so I decided to run. It was about by this time I remembered, oh shit, there's a chest over there that I should check. So I'm going to, yeah, that's why I like walked out and then turned around. I remember there was a chest over there. So I'm going to kind of go back over there and I'm going to check the chest this time to see if there's anything in there to help me. So right now I'm not too worried about damage. I'm just trying to see if there's anything to help me in my fight. And right now I am pinging. I'm looking at it in pinging. If you didn't know, you can ping things through chests. So you don't have to exactly go up directly to the chest and open it to see if there's anything in it. All you need to do is just ping at the chest and it'll tell you if anything's inside. And because nothing was pinging, I know there's nothing in the chest. So now right now I have an idea. So I'm making my way back to that drop down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop down. Actually, I'll just wait until I actually do it. But yeah, I'm trying to fight my way back to this drop down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mess up. I'm going to jump and I'm going to drink my strength pot. And while they are climbing, I'm going to shred them. And then I'm going to use my last of my Hagbanes, and I'm going to ult to drop aggro, and then just continue doing the damage. And something about, well, actually, no, that's it. Yeah, that's it. And that's, Dual Daggers. I didn't really want this video to turn into, these weapons are really good, here's how you use them to horde clear video, but it kind of turned into that. I was just trying to show that you can horde clear with any weapon, no matter what it's used for, with the right mindset and the right set of skills and the right environment and whatnot. So just a quick recap. In order to solo a horde, no matter what weapon you have to be able to keep the horde in a tight circle, be able to control the horde, don't let the horde control you. Use your environment whenever you get the chance, not just with single target weapons like dual daggers, one-handed axe. No matter what, always use your environment to your advantage. Always try to wipe out that horde as fast as you can. And watch out for stragglers, watch out for glitchy enemies. And and also make sure you know your attack rotation for your weapons, and so you can know what the best horde clearing potential is. Because I should have clarified this, not every single attack for every single weapon is good at horde clearing. You don't want to use Two-Handed Hammer's light attack for horde clearing, per se. So just make sure you memorize the attack patterns for each weapon so you know which one is the best at horde clearing. And yeah, if you have any questions, any comments, any critiques, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you want to see a specific class or a specific weapon, leave it in the comments. And I will see you guys next time. Peace!